How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
Great.
My heart's pounding.
I know. Well, I guess I got to start with a big question. What does it mean to you to be making a show like this in today's climate? I know. I'm going for the big one.
It's an honor.
You know.
Purposeful.
Yeah, you know, to be used as a vessel in this manner to tell a story that's so mighty like this, it's needed right now. And I think that's one of the most surprising and most refreshing responses we got as feedback from the audience for season 1. You know, people would live tweet us and everything like that. And one of the things that they would say was, where has this been? You know, and as if they needed this TV show in their life, you know, because they know the Ernestines, they know the Noahs, they know the Rosalies. These are our family, you know. And I think, you know, they hadn't seen this story told in this way. So for us, it's such a privilege. You know, it is such a privilege. It's so humbling to have been chosen to be a part of this beautiful family that is underground, because we are a family. We really are. We're so close and so passionate about this show. So it's an honor.
Aisha, what did it mean to you to join this cast?
It was truly a blessing. I was one of those people, as Jurnee was saying, that was sitting there watching the first season, just completely refreshed and thrilled that this narrative was on my television and was impacting and making me feel the way that it was feeling. Because yes, I've seen, you know, a variation of the story told in many different ways. Through many different perspectives, but this one was being told in such a powerful, palpable, refreshing, recognizable. You can access these characters in a deeper way and be inspired by them. And so, I was an audience member who was completely invested. And so when I was given the opportunity to join this cast, I was blown away, and I was definitely blown away by the fans who were a part of this family, you know, and they were equally as warm and welcoming, you know, and almost giving me, you know, the playbook on how to enter the world of the underground, you know. So it was so beautiful. It was so wonderful, and I couldn't be happier to be a part of this family.
All of the characters have certainly changed, you know, and evolved since the first season, and I think Ernestine more than anyone else. Amirah, can you talk about the evolution of your character?
Yeah, it was just watching it. I was like, oh, right, that happens to me. She's in a new place, and she defined herself all through season 1 as mother, you know, and she really thought she had a grasp on the world. And 2 things happen. You know, she loses everything. So now it's like, who is this woman without that role of mother? And we're going to find out who she is and what she's made of. You know, is she truly this strong woman, female role model that we've all come to say, yeah, that's like my mommy and my auntie, or is she going to crumble? And I think that's a really interesting question as what happens under pressure. But then also, you know, her daughter taught her such a great lesson. The arc for season 1 was so great. You know, she thought, she was like, look, I learned how to work it in this world. And her daughter was like, yeah, Ma, we don't want to work it in this world. We want to be seen, and we want to survive and exist and be acknowledged as human beings. And that was a huge learning point for Miss Ernestine at the end of the season, and that doesn't go away. You know, so that fire is still burning. The fire that she instilled in her daughter then said, okay, Ma, now I'm going to teach you something. And now she's carrying that. And she's going to, you know, go through some really traumatic, you know, physical abuse. And, you know, she's being mentally tormented. And she's going to, let's see, I don't want to say nothing.
This is a safe space. We can talk. We'll keep secrets, right? And Aldis, you mentioned when you were accepting the award the kind of physical paces that this cast has been through. I think you more than anyone else, we saw what you were put through. What was that like for you as an actor to play?
What do you mean? You saw
What did we see?
what Aldis was put through. What did you see?
Really? Really?
No, I love it.
You done synced it. All right.
Most shows, the women are the ones that are always taking their clothes off. Misha made it where the men are the ones always taking their clothes off in this show.
Animals. No, the physical aspect, the stunts. Oh man, it takes a toll on your body. You are just not ready for it. But I mean, we have a fantastic stunt team. But when it comes to the situations we're put in, it's probably one of the best experiences ever as an actor, because you get to live out a different side of the adventurous fantasy you have as, you know, a little kid growing up. I want to do the horse chases, I want to do the gun shootouts, I want to do the fight scenes. But also, when you're engaged in these scenes, it teaches you, it enhances your abilities as an actor, because you have to be more aware of certain things. You have to be aware of the camera in a very different way. You have to be aware of your fellow actor in a different way. And then you have to have a different sort of relationship with your own body and your limitations. So, you know, in scenes like riding that wagon with those horses, it's different, because those horses are very temperamental actors. When they don't feel like going, they don't feel like it. When they want to stop or when they want to buck up, you just got to be ready for it. And we had a couple of temperamental actors that day. But we made it. We survived.
They just didn't want to come out of their trailer, did they?
No, not at all. But then you have scenes like the gallows where, you know, you have the explosions and the hanging going on and everything is going off, and that's where you really need to be in sync with every single person on set, because there's a lot of timing issue. And if something goes off at the wrong time, you might be missing a couple of fingers and toes. But it teaches you, it gives you a great sense of awareness that I don't think one would have if otherwise not put in that position.
And I would throw this out to all of you. I would imagine it also takes a toll on you emotionally. You're really put through your paces. How do you get into that as actors? How do you, prepare yourself for it emotionally, knowing what you're going to have to go through on a day on the set?
Go ahead.
I heard Amirah talk about it one time in terms of them. I think it was during the first season where you guys walked into the space. You know, you walked onto the plantations, and it's true. I think the grounds sort of open you up. You know, you walk into that space and something happens inside of you. You know, and you just kind of open up. When if you just really even consider, all of the things that Aldis just described. If you consider the reality of those things, I think it just kind of opens you up, if you're a human being, and you're really, really connecting to this material and really vested in pushing forward this narrative and elevating it so that, we can learn from it, we can heal, then, I think those things sort of activate the necessary things. And then also speaking to, just how much of a family we are. I just sat there watching Jurnee, quiver at the bottom lip, and I'm like feeling it for her, but I also understand the connection that, her and Aldis share as friends offset, and so I think there's, that level that helps it along a little bit and fortifies those relationships so that when it's necessary to bring forth that emotion, it's right there.
One of the other things I really, enjoy maybe is the wrong word, but just really seeing that, like about this show is seeing the female characters front and center. They're fierce, they're strong, they're powerful. What does that mean for you as actors to see them take center stage?
Man, it's exciting. It's exciting not to just embody and be used as a vessel for one of those characters, but to watch your fellow female actresses get such meaty roles. It's rare, unfortunately, in this industry that you have a project like this where there's not one or two, there's multiple complex female characters. And again, that goes back to our creators, Misha and Joe, who from day one did not write any character one-dimensional. Even the so-called villains are very complex people. It's really the shades of gray that we explore in our show, and it's so refreshing to be a part of a show with such badass women because they kick ass. We kick ass.
Yes, y'all do.
And it's, you're not just the girlfriend. You're not just set dressing. We're not really, even though we love makeup, we're not really wearing makeup. It's not important. Our looks don't matter. It's about the gravitas that we're bringing, And for me, these are our aunties. These are our mothers. These are our grandmothers. And so to be able to reach back and pay tribute to them in this manner and be used to give story truth, you know, and to put voice to the voiceless. It's a dream as an actor, you know, it's a dream to be a part of a show like this because it's rare.
Aisha, talk about playing Harriet Tubman. Unlike the other characters, she's a real character that we know. How much research did you do to prepare for the role?
Yeah, Harriet Tubman is a hero. She's an absolute superhero. Joe Pukowski, one of our creators, has described her as like the Superman to the Justice League. And to me, she even transcends that. You know, she is otherworldly, honestly. When I think about the contribution that she made to the fabric of American history, it is unfathomable what she was able to sort of do up against insurmountable odds. And she did it without any education. She could not read. She suffered from narcolepsy. There was all of these obstacles set up against her. You know, she had lived her entire life on a plantation, enslaved. She knew nothing of freedom, what it looked like, smelled like, sound like, nothing about it. But she knew that the life that she was living was not the life that she was destined to live. You know, and so it was a tremendous honor to take on this role. It was also, you know, it's also a great call of duty because she's a woman who did amazing things, you know, and her story absolutely deserved a platform. This show affords her story an amazing platform, exhausts so many details about her. There's so much to learn. I've inhaled all the literature that I could, you know, find to on her so that, you know, when the time came, I could exhale her. But I gotta tell you that honestly, her story and who she is as a woman is so grand and so deep and so broad that her shoes were not, I felt like I couldn't really fill those shoes. And no matter how much research I did and, you know, how educated I was as an actor on the craft and, you know, and how many journals I could journal on her behalf or, you know, how many character arcs I could, you know, understand about her. This was one of those things that I had to push aside myself as an actor and sort of surrender as a servant to her story and the work and just allow her spirit to push me over the finish line because telling her story almost seemed impossible to me, you know, and there were several times that I would go to our director, Anthony Hemingway, and Misha Green, our creator, and I'd be like, this is not possible. And you know, on occasion, you know, I know they wanted to say it's not possible right back to me, you know, but we, you know, when we looked back retrospectively, we were all like, phew, got through that because she is really, really, really a complex and amazing, amazing person. And I'm so glad that we will be, you know, exploring her in this way.
What can you reveal about what's to come?
You will learn so much about her. You will learn about her as a child. You know, you will learn that she had the spirit of resistance since she was a child. You will learn about her as a woman. You will learn about her as a wife. You will learn about her as a daughter. You will learn about her as a friend. You will learn about her, you know, what she did to slay her edges. You will learn, you know, you will learn. You will learn. You're gonna learn today. What you ain't learned yesterday, you gonna learn today through the underground.
Hi, my name is Ayla. I'm a performing arts student. I just wanted to know, we've been told by a lot of people and professionals in the business that it is really important, all of the work and the research you do to really get a hook into your character and be able to personally connect. But being that the story is of its nature and something that not only can we personally connect to without the research, but just emotionally and historically, how do you all separate yourself so that you don't bring that into your everyday lives?
I'll tell you my little tricks of the trade. For me personally, when it comes to telling a story like this, I'm quite proud of what we're doing. I'm quite proud of the legacies we get to sort of exhibit on screen and how we touch people in the relationship that we have with our audience, rather that our audience has with us, and the way they have really taken ownership. We've seen the positivity that comes out of it. We've seen the respect that comes out of it for these people in this time and how they came out. I feel so proud to be able to tell a story of, as we've said many times, the story of revolution. a story that these people are fighting back. And I can't help but be happy. I took on a role of someone who I really respect as a man. I respect his moral code, his candor, the way he conducts himself. And I respect what he represented, because in this time, regardless of shackles or chains, he knew he was free up here, so he acted free. He knew his worth, so he fought to show people his worth. We still go through that in different ways today, trying to show other people our worth and our own value. Sometimes we struggle with believing in it ourselves. And that's what I love, is that he's displaying, and all these characters are displaying in their own way, the sacrifices and the struggle are necessary, and if you stay the true fight, it's worth it. You come out on the other end. It's worth it. So whenever it comes to going through these tough situations, I'm like, yes, let it get tougher so we can show people the truth, so we can show people the strength. Sometimes you have to go through ugly things to get to the beautiful things. But these people fought through ugly times. And look at how beautiful we all are today. That's the point. And that's where, when we get into it, it's weird. You would think that it just brings you down, and sometimes you do have tough days, but then you think about the adverse effect. You think about what happens after it because of what you're going through, and you're like, wait a minute. I can't help but be filled with pride and joy, because I know they went through this, so I can tell this story so this can affect somebody else in the best way possible, so they can be better than what our yesterday was. Thank you.
Hi, my name is DJ McCall. I am a film and television student here at SCAD. And my question was, with you guys dealing with the emotional and mental boundaries that you had to deal with these characters, how do you see yourselves relative towards them, and how have they inspired you to continue through, well, daily struggles and to be just appreciative as actors and actresses?
This project and this character certainly elevated me as a human being. Many times, you know, I hear writers and directors say that, you know, artists come in and then, you know, the words are on the page, and, you know, the artist comes in and they elevate the material. This was the complete opposite. This material elevated me as a human being, really understanding, as Aldis said, you know, these people lived this life. They did the work. They did the heavy lifting, you know. We are a manifestation of the heavy lifting that was done. You know, we don't want to necessarily separate ourselves too much from those emotions. We want to continue to allow those things those currents to run through us, you know. There was a line where Georgia says to Elizabeth, you know, something to the effect of like, if you're silent about slavery, that just continues to perpetuate it, you know. And so this is material that I'm glad that we get to engage, and we get to say, and we get to continue to say over and over, and we get to continue to have this dialogue and have the conversation and feel all the emotions connected to it, so that we can continue to press towards change.
And we have time for just 2 more questions. We'll take one in the back. Go ahead.
Hello, my name's Anthony. I'm an illustration student here at SCAD, Atlanta. And I just wanted to ask, so Underground, it's this really intense and serious show that just draws people in, but for you, the actors, are there ever times when you're casting a scene where you just can't hold it inside, where you just break from character, like either from sad emotion, or you just can't hold in the laughter?
It's a whole lot of questions about these emotions going on. It's a whole lot. Y'all trying to get all in our feelings.
You know, I think
Emotional crowd.
I'll speak on that. I think, you know, for me, it's a mixture of things. For me, my process started season 1. It was very much about books. Jurnee now would be like, "What girl? What you got?
What you got?"
Right. So, and then season 2 was very much about just what was on the page. Still had to go into the Gullah Geechee Nation, which is a very real nation. And we had the amazing Queen Quet to advise us on the culture. So that I definitely want to sink my teeth into that. But outside of that, for season 2, it's much more about just seeing what was on the page. And I did have a little psycho closet in my little apartment in Pooler. Shout out to Pooler. I love me some Pooler. So, and I like to say Pooler. But anyway, but in the closet out there, I had like Post-its of her journey, and that was really intense. It was like, oh, raped again. Then this son is taken, and then she's, her husband is killed, and it was really like my crazy closet. But then there came a point, which is always really interesting. What acting is, it's a lot of allowances. It is a human experience. So there's a certain point where I just knew that it was time to close the door, and that I had it all with me, and that I could just exist. And I could just be with my fellow actor. And there's a scene in episode 2 where, you get a little bit more of Miss Ernestine's background. And I was having a hard time. And the beauty of emotions is if you just allow, emotions are like children. How children are just like dead cold honest, and you just be like, you can't say that to grandma. She'd be like, but grandma ain't got no teeth. That's, you know what I mean? Like that's children. But like emotions are very similar. So you can't be like, okay, we about to cry now, because emotions be like, I'm not there. So I had to sit with it, and just the things, as soon as you start just allowing and saying, you know what, okay, you're not there. But now let's think about who this person is to me. Let me think about, the fact that I've loved you for so long. Let me think about my son and it's already, I feel it building right now, and that's where I'm gonna stop. But you just allow that to work on you, and it arrives. But you have to be gentle with yourself, and you have to be enough invested in what you're doing that you're not thinking about, oh my God, do I look good? Oh my God, do I have my lines memorized? That's why they focus so much on do the homework, do all that, do whatever you got to do to get out of your own way to be able to allow that to flow, and then get out of there. Because season 1, when I was in that hot box, I was ready to sit in there, and Misha was just like, no, we said cut, like get out. And I think that's healthy, though. That's very healthy, because sometimes we want to sit to honor something, and you know what? We got the shot, you honored it. Now it's time to, heal and, come back to keep working.
And last question right here.
Hi, I'm Tanisa Jones, a graduate writing student at the Atlanta campus, and I feel like this is an exciting time to be a Black writer. I feel like there's this renaissance in Black art, and Hidden Figures and Fences, Moonlight, Atlanta, Insecure, all these exciting stories that I felt that I would never get to see that represented people who look like me. And my question for you all is, what are some stories that you want to see that you feel are untold, or that you were looking forward to seeing come up soon?
I think right now my hot button is the Emmett Till story. Seeing as how old girl just came out and said that she lied, that deserves honor and justice. So
mother of Emmett Till.
Exactly.
That's
I think we need to see that for sure.
Ladies and
so many
gentlemen,
narratives.
There's so many.
I think that's the thing too. I think that's what's exciting about Misha and Joe is that these narratives existed. Like August Wilson is a legend. It's like oh, welcome to some, and it's just like, yeah, we've been known August. This is like, so that's the thing too. There are wonderful writers out there. I just say keep writing. Producers are bolder. We thank WGN America. We're so glad. That production companies are saying, yeah, we want to pick these stories up. We want to reflect what we see in the world, and so that's keep writing.
And Viola Davis said something so beautiful in her speech at the SAG Awards. If you're a human being, your story deserves to be told. And I think that, we as a people have so many stories, to honestly sit here and think of which flavor is my favorite story right now to be told. I couldn't even stop. My family alone has 99 stories that I would love to hear. But definitely, if you're a human being, your story deserves to be told.
I want to see the Aisha Hinds story. What's up?
I'm not going to make it with you.
Well, on that note, thank you so much to the cast. Thanks to all of you. It's been great.
Thank you.